stopped. Mosques closed. So we prayed alone. Gatherings stopped.
But the show must go on. 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 But the show must go on.
Cinema!
But the show must go on. But the show must go on.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. How are you? I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Hope you're having a fabulous Monday. As you know, on the SOS, our Mondays are not regular Mondays. They are more better Mondays. Today, I hope that we can share some information with you. Just some thoughts, if you will. I kind of had an opportunity to kind of sit back and chill with a good friend of mine for an interview project. And we actually talked about celebrity and things like that. And I want to give a shout out to Sister May Ali, who sat for an interview for Zakat Curious. We appreciate you. And you know, we had this conversation we've had it a while about celebrity culture, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting because we're in a place now whereby everybody's looking for the right answers, but not necessarily for the right thing. And I'm going to explain a little bit about celebrity culture from my perspective. It can mean a whole lot of different things. People have different situations, motivations, inspiration, and so on. But I thought, you know, I wanted to look at it in the context of why is it so consuming? Why we obsess so much with celebrity culture? You see, there's a big time shift. There was a big time shift, and I'm going to take into account, you know, 30, 40 years, what celebrity meant back 30, 40 years ago, and how we looked at individuals and how we place people. And I want to say certain levels. I don't want to say pedestals because that could be demeaning for some people. Some people literally work hard, not so much to be celebrities, but their actions lend they lend the public to treat them a certain way. So I thought, literally, I thought it'd be maybe helpful to understand that the celebrity culture that you're looking at now is not the celebrity culture of old. It's enhanced by a lot of electronic blips and algorithms and likes and things like that and views, which doesn't necessarily speak to the fact that people have an engagement with the folks that they, uh, I want to say, quote unquote, see as celebrity. And you have words like celebrity status, you have A list, B list, you know, not really a C list celebrities. And you can see how it grew its own culture, if you will. But I thought it'd be interesting to talk about from a layman's point of view. You know, one of the things I've always tried to deal with is people. And we have got to a point where the disconnection with people is that we develop relationships on artificial means. Like I said, it could be anything from social media to movies to television to even politics. We develop a situation where we have to make a decision, which is we're going to honor or we're going to put a certain amount of respect on the person for what we think we know about a person as opposed to what we actually know about a person. It's a really big, delicate balance. But, you know, I sit and I think about culture and being in the entertainment business for so long. And one of my favorite people came up today. Thank you, May. And we talked about Muhammad Ali a little bit. And he was pretty much one of the top celebrities that I knew. But he didn't start out that way. And I think it was refreshing to hear Mame talk about her father during this interview, but for me to recollect about how we actually come to this space, the advent of television, the advent of movies, the ability to mass produce entertainment content. led us to this place we are today. Now, I hope we're going to be in for a very engaging conversation. I thank you for coming on the show. Let's go ahead and get it rolling. It's a shout out show, the SOS Preacher Moss. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, bear with me a little bit. I'm trying to fix something on my computer, but I guess I could talk while I'm doing this. The idea of celebrity culture, if you will, is this drawn out idea that in some regards we can be a little bit more than we actually are. There's always been, for lack of a better word, there's always been that space that indeed we wanted to be special. When I say wanted to be special, what I'm saying is that, we always wanted something that would differentiate us, if that makes sense. And when I say differentiate us, I'm not saying per se that I'm better than anybody. I'm sorry about that. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm saying I just want to be recognized, and there's a thing about being recognized because it has so much to do about respect. It has so much to do about what people are recognizing you for. You know, the one thing that has come about with celebrity culture, it was the moving away from ideology of heroes. Not hero worship, which is right next, of course, to celebrity culture, but the idea of heroes. And the issue of heroes that, heroes weren't necessarily made. Environments made heroes, and they created people who responded to certain nuances, emergencies, crises, trauma. The hero, we couldn't figure out who the hero was until that situation came and arose, and people had to make decisions. In the scope of celebrity, you know, there are people who purely just want to practice their craft. That will be their station in life. They're going to practice their craft. They're going to rehearse. They're going to, in sports, you're going to keep practicing. You're going to specialize. You're going to do all of these things in the hopes of being able to attain a level of proficiency. In acting, you want to make sure that you're getting steady work. Being an actor, you are an entrepreneur. You are an independent contractor. You are trying to secure work. And the longer you can secure work, like for comedians, the whole idea is to get a sitcom that runs for 5 to 7 years. It goes into syndication. You make a pile of money. Once the show goes off the air, you get residual checks. In case you didn't know, this is the way it goes. And there is a particular shelf life that you worry about. Am I getting too old? Am I getting too fat? Are the people going to remember me? Things like that. These are things that people go through. I was reading in a Hollywood Reporter about a star named Brett Butler who had a show back in the 90s called Grace Under Fire. Probably made about 225, maybe $25 million during the course of her career. Lost it, wound up almost homeless. Now she's putting out a GoFundMe page. We wish Brett Butler the best. But with that pursuit of celebrity comes pitfalls. There are things that are in Hollywood that they lend to pitfalls. And some of them are same thing in sports. Sometimes to be a great athlete, some people believe to be a great athlete beyond practicing and discipline and learning your craft. Sometimes I need a shot. The temptation is always there for a shortcut. And in celebrity culture, the reason why you have so many people, you have TikTok celebrities, you have Instagram celebrities, IG models, and things like that, is because social media has presented a space whereby literally I'm going to allow you to shortcut. I'm going to allow you to get to the marketplace. And it's a marketplace of other people who are looking at shortcuts. Some people just want to put the pictures up and things like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But there are people who look to celebrity culture not because I want to be a star. Here's the differentiation. Not because I want to be a star, because I want power. And people who want power will use celebrity culture to get it. And it may start out, I may want to be a good actor or producer or something like that, or a rapper, but in the end, the thirst is power. And the danger outside of this thirst is the fact that celebrity allows people to cheat. It allows people to cheat. I was with a good friend of mine. He was talking about being with a basketball player that was fairly well known. He was an all-star player. He wasn't a superstar, but he was an all-star player. And he talked about going around with this person in the city. And this person, he said he never went for his wallet because everybody gave him everything. So he never paid for a meal. He never paid for a car wash. He was just that guy. Oh my goodness. And everybody just gave to this person. Why? Because he played a sport? Why? I mean, he's not making you any money, but that is the space that we find ourselves in right now. Ironically, you'll find people who the whole idea of that 15 minutes of fame is a misnomer. You know, now it's people just want 5. They want 3.5 minutes of fame because the competition is so dire, so desperate, and again, so willing to cheat a process. You know, oftentimes when we talk about what makes culture, what makes community is that it has certain proponents, if you will. I know that when we talk about building community, when we talk about W.E.B. Du Bois, Souls of Black Folk, his conversation was how do you build community for Black folks, particularly coming out of coming out of slavery, coming out of the fields of plantations. How do you build that? And of course, there was 2 things. One was the church, and the other one was education. This sign behind me, Hollywood sign, has been in Hollywood for a very long time. Let me explain something to you. Hollywood doesn't worry about education, and they darn sure don't worry about religion. They don't worry about education. They don't worry about religion. It is the place where you come to lose yourself. It is a place where you come to figure out what your values are and how important those core values are to you, because they will be tested. You see, in the old days, and bear with me here, see, in the old days, you had celebrities, but they weren't celebrities. They were your heroes. And what made them heroes to you is that they did something over and over and over and over, and they did it well. And they did it, not looking for any acclamation. They didn't want any acknowledgement. They just did it because, you grew up in a period, or I grew up in a period where your heroes were your parents. They were the everyday people who went out and did something extraordinary every day. But it wasn't extraordinary to them. It was extraordinary to you because it allowed you as a child to benefit. The whole idea of parents saying things like, my whole thing is I want to make sure my children are better off than I was, holds a lot of merit. It sounds cliche, but it holds a lot of merit because that's an extraordinary thing. That's an incredible gift of generosity from a parent, because a parent can say, hey, listen, I'm going to give you what I can. As opposed to, I want to make sure that in this space, you're going to do, or you're going to be better off than I was when I was at your age. Better off than, when I was 25 or 21 years old. You're going to have different opportunities. And to pursue that, knowing they could pursue it for themselves, but they pursue it for their parents. Celebrity culture, it does has good merits. It has good merits, but the fact of the matter is, brothers and sisters, and many people may dispute that, but large parts of celebrity culture is not built upon meritocracy. It's who's hot and who's not. It's who's hot and who's not. When you look at football or sports, The guy who hits the winning shot or throws the winning pass, he's celebrated. But the people who catch the pass aren't necessarily celebrated. The people who block aren't necessarily celebrated. The person who passed the basketball not necessarily celebrated. A hit TV show, we look at the star, but we don't look at all the people underneath it. The writers, the producers, the people who set up the stage, the people who do craft services. It's a team victory, but Hollywood only rewards one person. And that one person is the person they can take out to all the other people and go, hey, look what we created. Now, let me throw this out here. I'm a comedian, and it's nice when people say, hey, I saw your act. I really had a fun time. I saw you back when, that I'm a big fan and things like that. Of course, that makes you feel good. It makes me feel good. Why? Because I felt like for whatever time I was in their space, they enjoyed some piece of art for me. And it has a different type of weight on my heart because I'm like, yeah, because, you want to make sure that, laughter, a smile in people's heart. And from my, of course, the hadith that a smile is charity, that's big for me. That's huge for me. But at the same time, the cautionary tale is not to get intoxicated by it. When I say not to get intoxicated by it, but if you're doing something because you want the adoration of people, you want them to recognize you, and you want them to frame you as something special, not because of your talent, but you want them to frame something special so that you in this weird space can have power. It should be absolutely no secret to anybody there that all the great comedians that you see on TV, and I just want you to know that you see them on TV, your Chris Rock, your Kevin Hart, da da da. I don't, and even Dave Chappelle, I love all these guys. But I'm gonna tell you something. In Hollywood, there's someone that's always more powerful than them. You can play the game, but if you didn't create the game, all you can do is be an efficient player. And sometimes that's what you need to be. But that same culture, brothers and sisters, that's a lot of power. And it can frame behavior. A lot of people may not totally understand what I'm saying, but think of all the celebrity stuff we have. You have celebrity hosts, you have celebrity chefs, you have celebrity judges, you have celebrity announcers, you have celebrity drivers, celebrity, 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 celebrity. Did anybody say, wait a minute, what is the fascination of being a celebrity? A celebrity is not an expert, right? You're a celebrity chef, you're cooking. Now, in the culinary world, you may have a high level of expertise, but what makes you a celebrity? And I think about this all the time because children look at this, and you've grown culture now where children are on social media, adults are on social media, and people literally have grown these anxieties of not being recognized on this space. You didn't follow me, or so and so blocked me, or they deleted me, or how come you didn't follow me? And it's the weirdness, even at the time of the termination. Listen to what we say. How come you didn't follow me back? Follow you. And it has merit in the social media world. But if you told somebody, I'm going to follow you physically, that's a problem. And over and over and over and over again, the thing that is scary and has to be in some regards noted about celebrity culture is that it keeps it moving. This is one of the most mobile concepts out there. You can be hot today and not be hot for the next 25 years. And the intoxication is you will spend 25 years chasing that high when you were hot. It's almost like crack. Think about crack is the fact that, when you get addicted, it happens when you take the first hit. And you will ruin your life, possibly lose your life trying to chase that first high. Sometimes it's the same with celebrity. Hollywood, brothers and sisters, they say you come to Hollywood to follow your dreams. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of dreams, more dreams than not, have died in Hollywood. And these pieces and bits of broken hearts, broken dreams, broken bodies, broken spirits. We don't talk about that. And I'm not to say, hey, people who become stars, I love it. But the people who I like who become stars are the people who are not intoxicated by celebrity culture. Meaning, at some point in time, that they're tethered to something different than what Hollywood is giving. Now, before we go any further, let me go ahead and get some people up on the screen. Who we got today? Well, shout out show family. Who we got? Hey, Sister Ree, how you doing? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. I know you're probably on cloud 9 after week number 2 at the international market. Let us know how you did. Did you do well? I meant to ask you yesterday, did you do well? We hope so. I made the walk for it. Peace to you and Brother Derek. Hope all was well. And Brother Jawan. Next up. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Altaf, a Canadian ambassador from Toronto, Canada. Sir, we're glad that you could be on the show and join us. How are you feeling about this whole thing of celebrity culture? Let us know. Good to see you on the show, and I appreciate you as always, Sister Aika. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Coming all the way from Indonesia. What's going on, Sister Aika? I am happy to report that Sister Aika's sister and brother-in-law are on the road to recovery. They're doing well out of the hospital and recovering at home. Alhamdulillah for that. Next up. Hey, Mama Moss, Mama Son says happy Monday, SOS family. You need that love on a Monday. I'm tell you, brother and sister, you need the love on a Monday. So I appreciate your greetings, Mom, and your intentions are well received. That's right. Let's see. Being a celebrity is good unless you let it go to your head. Stay grounded. Indeed. But that's a place it goes to. It goes to your head. It moves from your heart. You feel it in your heart, but then it goes to your head. I've seen it more often than not. But, I think that's the thing, too. It's so much about intention. Why did you want to be people don't answer honestly. It's like, why did you want to be a football guy? I said, well, why do you want to play football? I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be a star. You want people to celebrate. You want people to cheer your name, shout your name. That's honest. Some of us get other spaces, but that's all right. Who else we got? Sister Tana, we good? Well, we got Sister Tana. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for holding it down. And just want to make sure we give a shout out to ISNA, Islamic Society of North America. They're doing their 2021 virtual convention. Make sure you check them out. Register. The convention is actually free. Go to isna.net. Again, that's isna.net, isna.net, and get more information. All right. So let me continue on this thing because we only have a little bit of time left. The deal with celebrity culture, brothers and sisters, is it's kind of pulling the peas from the pod. You separate the pea from the pod. And the thing about celebrity culture, it has so much to do about what are your intentions. It's sort of like you do a intake on the way into Hollywood, and you do another exit interview on the way out. That you look and you see who you are. I always thought it was really interesting that the people who did theater, actors that went from theater, we got some sound going by. I thought it was interesting that the older actors, your Denzel Washington, your Samuel L. Jackson, your more established people who did Broadway, is interesting. When they get to Hollywood, they do very, very well. But they wind up not being really, really self-absorbed. And I saw Denzel Washington give a speech, and what he was talking about was the fact that the dedication for the theater actor is understanding that you may never get discovered, that you are there largely to learn the craft. You may be learning the craft 5 to 10 years, how to be an efficient actor and also how to be a working actor. And then you go out to Hollywood And I always had this theory. You got how people who go, some people in Hollywood, they just start taking acting classes, but they didn't go through that process of the Broadway actor to understand theater or to even go to school. People like Denzel Washington went to school and got, the BA in Fine Arts or Master's in Fine Arts to learn the role, the aspect of acting, and even more so, the history of acting within, the history of acting in society. So you have people who understand how to perform Shakespeare and the like. Celebrity culture, and maybe I called it a cheat culture. And I'm gonna tell you why I call it a cheat culture. I call it cheat culture because people are allowed to say things and do things with no fear of repercussions. With no fear of repercussion. I watched a guy on Fox today. I think Sister Rabina sent me this thing. The guy on Fox today said, if you want to go get the Americans out of Afghanistan, he said he just needs 9 guys and he's going to kill everybody else. This is 9 guys are going to kill everybody else. This is on a news cycle. This is, and all he's trying to do is be provocative. He's trying to be provocative. There are people who study Middle Eastern policy for years. There are attaches who are working on the ground, right, and you'll never hear from them, brothers and sisters, but because they have the right answer, they have the right temperament. Celebrity is who's loudest, not who's the smartest, not who's works the hardest, not who's the kindest, not who's the most resourceful and knowledgeable. It is who is the loudest at that point in time. And our celebrity culture now is interesting because it's also a copycat culture. I miss the idea that we had heroes. Because when a person would say, why is that person a hero? We'd say it was X, Y, and Z. So when we talked about our parents, well, our parents are heroes. It was X, Y, and Z. Our teachers were heroes, X, Y, and Z. And they had things that were verifiable, not for actions they did for us, but actions what they did for other people. The local celebrity, that whole idea, concept of local celebrity is interesting because the local celebrity knew that it was just a thing. It wasn't the thing that got them out of the neighborhood. It got you some notice and awareness, but you hit the winning shot. That's cool. You caught the football. That's cool. Or even help somebody out that was in need. That's cool. But what was interested in it was expected. And celebrity culture is like people do things. Like I said, people do things, and it's not our expectations, it's their expectations. They get up, they expect for us to react a certain way because they did something. Right? Look at me, look at me, look at me culture requires that you look at them. And if you don't look at them, then there's something inherently wrong with you. And that's the other thing about celebrity culture. It's built so much upon look at me, look at me, look at me. You have created a community, brothers and sisters, of mirrors. Imagine a place of mirrors. And when you walk in the middle of those mirrors, you see reflections, so many reflections, you don't know which one is the real person. Celebrity culture has done that. And much like ShOUT, it promises you everything and gives you nothing. All right, brothers and sisters, that's our show for today. Take some time, actually. I want you to, watch the TMZs and Hollywood Reporters and just kind of realize how mundane this stuff is. I mean, the most funny thing you see is when it's a really slow day in the celebrity world because it doesn't really matter. So-and-so did this, so-and-so had a purse, so-and-so was seen with so-and-so. I'm like, but in the world that really matters, you still got people who need jobs, people who are hungry, people who are sick, people who need generosity, compassion, people who are beautiful. I mean, you have people outside of the celebrity world that, and the world goes, and I say this, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. The celebrity world is really a closed space. Think about this. Hollywood generates so many images that goes around the world. So many images that goes around the world. The power of media, more so around the world, that it's hard to battle those things. It's hard to battle unless you realize that you're not trying to fight that image. You're trying to build your own image. You're trying to not be a part of the mirror community and be something unique and organic. And that's what I would hope for all of us, that we recognize not celebrities, we recognize heroes. And we pull back and understand, as somebody said, the worst thing you can ever do is meet your heroes. Why? Because they're people too. People too. All right. That is it for today, brothers and sisters. I appreciate your patience. I had a little technical difficulty. We worked it out. God bless you. Let's get to our sponsors right away before we go. If you're looking for financial advisor, brothers and sisters, you need to go to, that's right, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Call 1-888-496-6845. Again, that's 1-888-496-6845. And it's a minority-owned business, an MBE. Make sure you talk to Miss Maxine BK Esquire. All right. Now, if you're thinking about education, we talk about education, you might want to check out Bayan Islamic Graduate School in terms of getting a quality graduate or doctoral level education. They have different degree programs. Of course, they have Islamic education, Islamic leadership, Islamic studies, as well as one of the few Muslim chaplaincy program in an MDiv department. So listen, that's our show for today. I appreciate you. Check out isna.net. We will see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Preacher Mars, shout out show.